Hoy no más. Prende unas velas, babe.
I got him.
Voy a traer alcohol-free champagne.
¿Cómo te atreves a decirme que me quieres si es mentira?
Sí.
¿Cómo te atreves a mirarme fijamente y asegurarme que es mentira lo que dice tanta gente?
¿Oí?
¿Cómo te atreves
Ah.
a lastimarme el corazón de esta manera? ¿Por qué no piensas un poquito y te arrepientes de lastimarme, de engañarme? Por favor, comprende. Ya no quiero más mentiras. No te quiero compartir.
What a voice, no, babe?
It's beautiful.
Yo te entregué mi vida y no quieres más mi amor. Vete, por favor. Vete ya. Vete con ella, con quien quieras, mientras yo voy a buscar una manera de olvidar.
How do you do it to say all those words so perfectly, Geneva?
I don't know, it just flows out naturally.
You felt this song.
Oh, yeah.
Porque tú nunca me amaste de verdad, siempre jugaste con mi amor, todo mundo lo sabía menos yo.
Is this new?
That came out in February.
February?
Acéptame la idea.
Una bonita selección right there. ¿Cómo te atreves with Geneva?
Te atraventaste.
Hey, man, I've been like this all. What the hell is
I
wrong
don't know
with
what's wrong with you. It's sleep deprivation, I think.
That's what it is.
It's sleep deprivation.
I want to take a nap and I know just. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. It's Tetera Tuesday, #PVT, and it's straight from the middle of Edinburgh, heart of Edinburgh, Society 204, a co-working community providing a productive work environment for RGV entrepreneurs, helping people ditch the home office and coffee shop for a more productive environment with other mobile workers like yours truly. And we're right here at the heart of Edinburgh's historic downtown district. Our space is ready to accommodate businesses of all sizes. You need an office space, come on in and enjoy all the amenities that they've got to offer right here at Society 204, a co-working community. Give them a call for a tour at 956-887-1143, all right? 956-887-1143 to book a tour. And, of course, this show is brought to you by the law office of Carlos A. Garcia. If you're injured in a serious accident, arrested in a serious charges, you need an attorney that's going to fight for you in court because serious cases require a serious lawyer. Give them a call, 956-584-1448, 956-584-1448, 24 horas al día, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 7 días a la semana. And you can visit his website at thegarciafirm.com. He's board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. You get into any trouble this holiday season, you better call this number right away so you don't have to spend one single minute, second, or hour inside the can, all right? So you got that. 956-584-1448. So we've got Geneva here with us, ladies and gentlemen. And super impressed with your music.
Thank you.
And the way you say the words, and I mean, I hadn't heard your singing in a long while, Geneva, and I mean, we've known each other for a long time.
Yes.
I mean, we were just talking back in 2008 that you recorded your first
Album.
Yeah, your first album, and it's 2021, and you're still doing it.
Yep.
And your voice sounds spectacular.
Thank you. Thank you.
¿Verdad, babe?
Yes, it's beautiful. It's
By the
really,
way,
really beautiful.
she's our producer, my wife,
Hey, hey.
Rally.
Yes.
I'm over here.
Thank you so much.
So she's with us, and we've got our good friend Lori Carr here with us also. Es la designated driver. What's going on, Lori? How you doing?
Doing well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. Are you taking care of that chin or something, or what is that?
Yeah.
You got that the masks, right? Everybody's still using masks. You got to be
Yes.
careful with that. Did you all have any trouble with the COVID and stuff?
I
No?
haven't had COVID. At least I don't think I have.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Some people have gotten it and they don't even know they have it. I mean, they're asymptomatic.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's interesting how that virus was so crazy like that, right? Some people
so
got it
scary.
and didn't have any symptoms. Some people got it and passed away.
Yeah.
Some people ended up in a hospital and really, really beat up. But are you both vaccinated? Did you all get vaccinated?
I haven't gotten vaccinated.
You haven't gotten vaccinated?
No.
How about you, Lori?
No, I have not.
Are you all vaccinated, vax hesitant, or what's it called? Vax hesitant?
I don't know. My dad is very, for it. But I mean, I just personally would rather wait and see what happens. I don't know, because it always happens to where, they you get something and then later on, like a year later, if you took this, it's just kind of like,
I've seen those.
yeah. And it's not that I want to be like, irresponsible or anything like that. I just, in my heart, I don't feel that I want to get it right now. I'm not ready. I just feel like I've had, in the past, I've just gone through so many things that I'm like, with my luck, like something's going to happen to me, and I don't know. Every time that I'm about to consider getting it, a friend will call me and be like, dude, guess what? So-and-so got a vaccine and, they had an embolism and they passed away. So I'm like, oh, So, I mean, everybody, pues we all have our own right to choose. And I just, and my dad siempre, all the time, you need to get it, you need to get it. And I'm like, papi, ¿qué vas a hacer si yo me muero y porque agarré la vacuna? Pues, ¿qué voy a hacer si te mueres porque te dio COVID y me voy a sentir mal porque no lo agarraste?
It's like, what do you do, right?
Yeah.
What about you, Lori? What's keeping you from doing
I
it?
don't really have a
Get
really
closer to the microphone.
I don't
there.
have a really strong
You
position.
can move the microphone under so you can put it up. Like, there you go.
There
I
you
don't
go.
really have a strong position or on it. I just don't. Other than my allergies, like I have not been sick in over 5-6 years. I do a lot of fasting, like intermittent fasting.
Okay.
So I respect everybody's own decision on it and stuff, but I just don't personally feel.
Well, I mean, the government's like doing a mandate where everybody, like, they're mandating companies that have over 100 employees that they all have to have their employees get vaccinated. If not, they get fined like thousands and thousands of dollars. So there's some sort of mandate going on, but there's a lot of people pushing back on it because, hey, hold on, wait a second. And now, like, the schools all received a bunch of vaccines for kids. Like, and some people are already getting their, I saw a report on one of the news agencies local here that there hundreds of kids got vaccinated. And did you hear anything about that, babe?
No, I know that the school districts are getting the vaccination and they're opening it up for parents to choose to take their child to get vaccinated within the school and the school districts. So.
And somebody told me on social media, so, hey, if it's on Facebook, it's real.
I don't know. I just feel like there wasn't enough time to do like trials and like I feel it was just like too fast. We've had so many other illnesses that they haven't found a cure or a way to stop it. And all of a sudden they had one so fast for this. Like, I don't get it.
Well, the thing about me, that what freaks me out is there's two and then a booster, and then that booster's only going to be good enough for so long, and then we're going to be taking it like a flu shot every year. So it's like you don't know what's in store for or what's going on and what are we putting in our bodies.
And then that you can't mix it. So if you got a Moderna, you have to do the Moderna. If you got a Pfizer, and then so now you can mix it. It's just like, it's the
just
booster,
so much information out there, right?
I'm just going to wait and see what happens to everybody else. And then if nothing happens, I mean, of course, if I have to by law, pues I don't have a choice, right? But if I have a choice, I just personally right now, I just feel like I'm not ready.
If you had
I'm just
it,
praying on it,
and even if you had it and you were asymptomatic, chances are you'll have the antigen, right? Or what is it called?
Antibodies.
The antibody, that fights it better than a vaccine.
Right.
Yeah.
From what we've learned through history, that happens. But they were saying that everybody someday, sooner or later, is going to get COVID, and body's gonna fight it. And hopefully, if it does hit you, you got the weak, the weak one, or because in that Delta variant,
I don't even get the flu shot. That's how scared I am.
I've never gotten a flu shot
I'm
either.
like, why am I
Neither
gonna
have
inject
I.
myself with the flu so I don't get the flu? Like, and some people, I have an aunt that almost died because she got the flu shot. So it's kind of like, honestly, like I battle. Like when my brother passed away, I developed psoriasis, you know, and it's like an inflammation of the skin, and you accumulate plaque, and you know, and so there was so many times that I saw a dermatologist, tried to get treatment, but because I had malignant cancer a few years ago, I can't just get any type of medication because it lowers my immune system, and then I can get cancer again.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I have to weigh my options. Is it worth it? You know, and then I'll end up getting, you know, cancer somewhere else. And, you know, so to me, it's kind of like I'll just stay with the psoriasis and put my little creams when I can. Because before I dealt a lot with, you know, like insecurity, right? Because, pues, I mean, my hands, it's where I have my mic, you know, because I have these, you know, like it's going away because I found a medication that's helping. But, you know, it was really hard on my self-esteem, you know, to have it. But I'm like, I mean, I'm not going to, they're like, well, if you get this shot, it'll clear up, but you know, there's these chances that you'll get, you know, your cancer can come back. And I'm like, no, I just stay with them, like, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, you know, the person with a lepra, you know, I know that God's gonna heal me one day, and for now it's just a reminder that, you know, He's with me all the time.
Yeah. It was interesting because you know, psoriasis is something that happens common to a lot of people, and that Kim Kardashian.
I know, that's what my daughter said once she was like, you would get psoriasis. Like,
yeah. Well, Kim Kardashian kind of brought it into the mainstream. Like she had it and she admitted it. And then so she went, but, you know, I have my bouts with that as well.
really?
Yeah. And then my daughter has it.
Really?
My dad has it. My grandmother had it.
Wow.
So it's a
My dad had it
hereditary
too,
thing.
yeah.
It's
My dad had it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I was going to ask you about that cancer scare that you had. How long ago was that?
This April 1st was my 7th year in remission. So even see another number 7.
Praise God.
Another number 7.
Wow.
Oh my God, Rock. We just realized something right now, and I'll tell you about it later.
Well, later off the mic or what? Or is it?
No, like once we go into the Tejanas Unidas.
Oh,
stuff.
okay, yeah. Because ladies and gentlemen, she put together a project.
Oi? Together?
Yeah, together. She got it together. Tejanas.
Because we've been watching Yellowstone.
Yeah, they all watch Yellowstone.
No.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard.
Dude, it's awesome. It is awesome.
it?
Yeah.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Paramount. It's on the
Paramount.
Paramount. Netflix is Narcos, Mexico.
Right.
That's what we watch. And
We
Ozark.
watched the final one today.
Yeah. But man, we don't hardly have time to watch
I know,
TV,
we
you know,
don't.
but whenever we do get a shot, we get to watch. I mean, we watch YouTube. That's what I do, YouTube, and you try to see as many videos as possible within the time frame that you can watch a little YouTube, you know. So, you know, it's interesting. Some videos are longer than others, so you try to use the shorter videos, and the long ones you see a few minutes, and almost, you know. But yeah, so I really forgot where the hell I was.
We were talking about my cancer.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Why did you get me off track with Yellowstone?
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm
But-
still thinking of
Yeah,
Kim
so and that you were gonna. Well, I was telling them about your mujeres Tejanas Unidas for Cristo. There we
En
go.
Cristo.
I want to get this sooner or later, ladies and gentlemen.
Tejanas Unidas en Cristo.
And it is amazing. Let's roll that video so I can catch up
first
here.
one?
The first one, the one with the girls, and they're like, I mean,
Okay.
wait a second. First of all, we'll talk about the video when it comes to this. It's awesome. Check it out.
Okay.
Aquí estás, debemos mover, te adoraré, te adoraré. Aquí estás, obrando en mí, te adoraré, te adoraré, te amamos. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú. Milagroso, abres caminos, cumples promesas, luz en tinieblas, mi Dios, así eres tú, así eres tú. Así eres tú. Así eres tú. Así eres tú.
just listening to that song makes me kind of like gives me a little knot in my throat. You know, it reminds me when you know, we'd go to church, you know, right? And it's weird. It's funny how you walk into a church and there's a group performing like this. And everybody, it's just, you feel the power.
You go into the Spirit. Yeah, you feel the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, and I remember my wife and I, we went, as soon as we got in there, we started bawling, you know, because it's like an amazing feeling. And this song captures that spirit big time. I can feel it.
Imagine being there and listening to all 25 in person, which I got to do while they filmed it. Oh my gosh, talk about trying to hold back tears all the time. It's just amazing.
Spiritual.
Very spiritual.
How did this project come? You mentioned your cancer. What started this, and how long ago did this start?
Well, this project, this idea came about 2 years ago. I was battling depression. I was going through, just a very dark time in my life. Imagine having everything, beautiful house, beautiful family, but, inside feeling dead, like feeling, honestly, I feel like music contributed a little bit to the depression that I was going through at the time. I had been told I was going to go to this very, very important reality show that I had already been selected. I had turned down, just a lot of different invitations, like to the Latin Grammys, to the Tejano Music Awards, because I was going on this reality show. And so, I even, before I wouldn't even audition for this show, I had prayed and I said, God, if you get me on this show, I'm going to go and give you all the honor and the glory. It's not going to be about me. It's going to be about you. But once I got that opportunity, it became about me. Well, no, I'm not going to do this Christian song because this other song makes me sound a lot better. So I'm going to do this one, so I wasn't being obedient to what, I had prayed about and asked God to, because when my brother died, I rebelled against God. I didn't talk to him for a year because I was so angry because I had given my life, my everything to him, and I'm like, really, God, you're not going to heal my brother? And my brother was atheist. So that was even harder because I would try to, just see God, and he would tell me, yeah. But I came to find out after he passed through a friend of his that he had actually, invited God into his heart, but he just didn't want to share with me, I guess, because he thought maybe I'd be like, I told you.
It was his personal relationship.
Yeah. And so once I found this out, I was like, I came to the realization that God took him because he accepted him, and maybe if he sent him back, he was going to lose his salvation. So that's what gives me peace, But 2 years ago, so then this reality show.
What was it? What reality show was it?
Was because I can't, since I signed paperwork, I can't disclose.
Oh, so you can't disclose it?
No, I can't. So then last minute, they canceled my plane ticket. They didn't even have the guts. I'm here thinking I'm going.
The reality show, what was it?
It was a singing contest.
Oh, so it was like American Idol and Star Search.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but it was in Mexico.
Okay.
And so here I am thinking I'm gonna fly out this week, blah, blah, whatever, and then nobody calls me, and I'm like, hey, Friday is gonna come, and nobody calls me, and so finally I call the production, and I'm like, hey, like I haven't gotten my itinerary. What's going on? And they're like, oh, well, it's because we had a budget cut. So we had, since you live the furthest, we had to eliminate the people that live the furthest.
Yeah, because they were going to pay for your trip over there. So
and so I'm
more,
like, but you guys couldn't even call me? Like, I was like, I have family there. I'll pay my way there. But they're like, no, well, it's because we already closed it, and so we're sorry. And I was just like, man.
I don't know about those shows.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of politics involved.
Yeah, there is, but it's good exposure, though.
It's like award shows. It's like all that. Everything is scripted.
Yeah.
There's premeditated outcomes. So, that's how I feel about it.
But like at that moment, I felt like, man, like I wasn't even good enough for them to call me and say, like, hey, do you want to come? Like, pay your own way here. Like, I just felt at that point, I felt worthless. It was just that and a whole bunch of other things that were happening in my life that I felt like, man, well, why am I even here? Like, I have no purpose. What, like, I'm good for nothing. Like,
and at those moments, we don't even think maybe God has something else for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so I legit, like, my husband was asleep in his bed. My kids were asleep in their room. I legit left my house in the middle of the night. During that time, I was exercising a lot because I was like, I'm going to the show, whatever. So I leave my house in the middle of the night, and I'm walking towards Westgate. And I said, you know what? I could see that a truck was coming from afar. And, you know, at that time, I felt so helpless. And I literally, like, gripped my tennies in the dirt, and I was just going to wait for that truck to come so I can jump in front of it because I didn't want to live. You know, I felt like there was no reason for me to be here. Like, I didn't care at the time, you know? And then right before it got to me, it just turned around. There was no other cars coming on Westgate, and that truck just turned around. And I dropped to my knees because I was like, you know, God loved me enough to make that truck turn around. You know, so I knew that there was a higher purpose for me. I just had to figure out what it was. So I was walking home and I was crying. I got in my bed. Like, nobody ever knew that it happened until I started talking about the testimony as to how Tejanas Unidas came about, right? Mm-hmm. That's when everybody found out, because I hadn't shared it with my husband. I hadn't shared it with my mom, my dad. Nobody knew that I was going through depression because I was so good at pretending that I was happy, that nobody knew that inside I was dying, you know? And so 2 days later, I started feeling the same way, helpless and crying. And I'm sitting outside and I'm like, God, like, if I was still going to feel like this, why did you make the truck turn around? What do you want me for? What's my purpose here? And all of a sudden, my phone started playing by itself. That song, a different version, pero nomás empezó mi phone. Da-na-na, da-na-na-na. And I was like, I'm sitting in the dark, you know? And so I turned my phone over. And pues, you know, YouTube, you have to enter the song, wait for the ads before your song plays, you know? And so I turned the phone over and I just started to pray. And exactly what you see in the music video is what, like, the visions that God was giving me. I was in tears, but I could see myself in the middle of the water holding hands with women in white, you know, just glorifying him and just praising him. And I started seeing the girls one by one. I saw Shelly Lares, I saw Patsy Torres, I saw Savannah Votion, I saw Aisha. Like, all these girls, with the exception of two that I just met, have had some run-in with me throughout my career. Either I've met them and mentored them, or, you know, just followed their music or been their fans, like Shelly Lares, you know, like, and so that idea came about, and I said, okay, so you're telling me, God, that I need to record this song and I need to get these girls together and we're going to do it to honor you. And, you know, just everything, like, I felt like he was telling me, do this for my people so that they know that I'm here, that I exist, that I want to heal them, that I'm the way maker. Like, everything, just, you know, all these things were just, he was bombarding me with these visions, you know.
And how long ago was this?
This was almost 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah. And so then I started contacting the girls, and I'm like, look, you know, God put this in my heart. You know, do you want to be a part of it? I don't know what's going to happen with it, but, you know, I saw the number 25, so it's got to be 25 girls. And I started writing names down, and I started calling them one by one, and everybody started agreeing. I didn't want it only to be a project that featured, you know, artists that were on radio. I wanted it to be icons, girls that were on radio, and the future generations of Tejano. Because, like me, I didn't have that support system. I didn't have anybody that would come and said, hey, like, I'm going to invite you up to sing with me one day. Or, you know, nobody ever did that for me. Everything that I did because I would save up my little money to go record a song, and I would go promote it. Or tú sabes, I would go to the station and help me out. And then I did the Marcos Valdez show, and I won and got the contract with East Coast Joey.
Yeah.
Right? But...
And that was your first label, Joey, right?
Yeah, Joey International.
But before that, you were recording independently here.
I was recording independent. Yeah, I was recording independent, and but I never really had music on radio until I won that show.
Yeah.
You know, and so all these girls, like Margarita, for example, you know, I did backup vocals for her in the past. You know, we all had a connection somehow, right? And so I knew that these women were being selected not by me. I was just the vessel that God was using to unite us together, right? And so there was times when the girls, because, you know, COVID got worse, everything shut down, so we couldn't go record in the studio because it was closed. You couldn't. Yeah. So it was just kind of things that kept getting in the way. But, you know, God kept like, hey, reminding me, like, hey, you got to do this. So then, you know, I lose my mom. I released Como Te Atreves in February 17th was when I released Como Te Atreves. And I told my manager, Myra D, I said, Myra, every time I release music, something bad happens. I was like, I don't know if I want to release it, because I hadn't released music in 2 years, like 2.5 years. And I was like, man, every time I release something, something happens. Sure enough, I released February 17th, February 27th, my mom passes away. You know, my mom just had a broken foot. Like, it wasn't even supposed to be a big deal. She got a little infection.
What happened? Oh, she got an infection?
Yeah, she got an infection, and she went into respiratory and a heart
Was she
attack.
diabetic or anything like that?
Yeah, she was diabetic.
Is that what probably caused the infection? And then
Yeah.
And how old was your
just-
mom?
My mom was 71. 71. Yeah. And
well, our condolences
thank you
for your mom.
And and it was hard because I'm like, man, I'm finally gonna get all this going, and my mom's not gonna be here to see it, but she's been in every single part of it, and she's and she's proven it to me. And not that I don't know, she got some pull up there with Jesus, because there'll be times when I'll be crying and praying to her about something, and she'll find a way to let me know that she's with me, And so as I started calling these girls, some of the girls, I could tell that they were like Rebecca Valadez. She was a former singer for Grupo Más.
Yeah, I remember her.
She straight up told me, she's like, girl, when you told me this, I was like, how in the world are you going to get 25 girls together? Like, she thought, it ain't going to happen, But then we booked the first group of girls. We recorded at Freddie Records in Corpus Christi. The song was produced in Sonora, Mexico, with a producer named Orlando Ice.
How did Freddie decide to take on this project?
Well, I'm not under Freddie. We just used his studios because his studios could accommodate what I was trying to accomplish.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not under Freddie Records. I'm independent. But I mean, he is 100% behind this project.
I would imagine.
Yes.
I mean,
once he saw, he had heard about what we were doing, and I mean, he ended up at our movie premiere, because we also filmed a movie for this project. So it's amazing. It ended up, now it's going to turn into a series. But we did a 2-hour movie, because each one of these girls that formed part of this project has their story, and so we interviewed them individually. Mingo Mariano from San Antonio and Masi Cervantes, we're so blessed to have them, capture these interviews with these girls. So we go into depth, about their careers and trials and tribulations that they've overcome, so that people can get to know them at a much deeper level, because they see us all dressed up, and and they think like their life is perfect.
So we're talking a documentary.
Oh yeah,
the documentary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
That's great that you got to film all that.
Yeah, because I mean, this is, Shelly Lattice is going to be retiring, and so, she is so happy that, we put this together, because this is history in the making. There's never been anything like this.
I don't think so. I've never seen it in my whole career. I've been in this business for a long time.
Yeah.
I've never
there's
seen
been collabs, but not 25 women.
Not at this magnitude.
Yeah.
And when I saw the video and I saw, where was this video recorded?
We filmed at South Padre Island.
Yeah, but the spot you found,
I'm telling you, it was God.
It looks like you're somewhere like in the Arctic,
Bahamas,
or somewhere. I mean, it doesn't even look like it's South Padre Island.
Yeah, it was right by the convention center, like right next door. Like, everything was perfect.
On the bay side, was it on the bay side?
Yeah, because we wanted to capture the sunset, and then we filmed the bonfire scenes on the beach, but the South Padre Island was so happy to have us there.
What time of year did you do it?
We recorded, when was it that we recorded? I don't remember. Was it August?
A few months ago.
Oh, so it was August. That was hot. It was hot then.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't even remember the dates. But yeah, like, the convention center blessed us with with the room there. And so, I mean, I went all out for these girls. I hired.
It looks amazing, and I can just imagine the work and time and effort that it took to do this video. Was it done in one day?
Yeah, we did it in one day.
Wow.
Ryan Basan filmed us. He's from San Antonio. I've been working with him for many, many years. A lot of these girls have worked with him. He's an amazing videographer. And what I like is that he allows me, I write all my storylines, right? So he allows me to be creative, and so it was supposed to be done like a certain way. Like, he was supposed to pan in individually.
Put some of that footage on, babe, with the volume off, so we can check it out while we're talking about this.
Like, capture each of them individually, but instead we got, like, in the shape of the cross. And that's
I
what
saw
you see
that. That gave me chills when I saw that.
Like, he came, he's like, just get in the cross. And so he's telling everybody, like, all right, because the sun was setting, like,
it was the perfect amount of girls to make the cross.
Yes. Like, unfortunately we had a few of the girls that weren't able to make it, because one of them had kind of like a COVID scare, and the other one was, her son was graduating, and so. We missed them there, but they were with us there in spirit. For the most part, I think it was 21 girls that got to make it out to the video shoot. But it's been a beautiful experience, because I can assure you that these girls didn't come out of the studio the same way they came in.
Is this an album with is it one song, or is it an album with a bunch of songs?
Well, originally it was supposed to be a song that was in my Christian album, because I'm recording a Christian album, and I'm finishing up my Tejano EP. Okay. Right? I decided to do just an EP instead of a full album, because I wanted to focus more on the Christian album. So the project was called Tejanas, Unidas en Cristo. Okay. But I'm thinking that's what the album is going to be called now, because I'm doing a duet with Shelly.
I think that's a great idea.
We're doing a Christian song together. So I'm thinking it's going to be like an album with collabs and then some individual tracks of myself. Just whichever one of the girls, wants to,
in the American music industry, there's collabs that's all there is now. There's just collaborations of artists, and it's good to see that Tejano's doing it together when usually we're like not even hanging out together. We're we're in a competitive mode.
This has become a movement. If you look at Facebook, us 25 flood each other's pages with support, and we've invited there's other girls that are like, how can I be part of Tejanas Unidas en Cristo? And I'm like, you can't be part of the song, but you can be part of Tejanas Unidas en Cristo, because we started a an organization where we're going to be doing as a group, like any monetary blessings that we get from this project are going to go back out to the community for artist development. I want, any money that's raised, maybe, 2-3 times a year, we're going to find local talent. We're going to vote as a group, as to who we, recorded like a single, and just, get them digital distribution, stuff that, perhaps maybe their parents sometimes can't afford. And that's why they haven't, pursued a career in music, and then also for just women that can't afford to get little certain procedures because they don't have insurance, or they don't they don't qualify, and perhaps they have like, for example, like my cancer was malignant, but it was hereditary. It wasn't like a cancer that I developed from an illness or anything like that. Like my grandmother had cancer, a couple of my aunts
some
had
of
cancer.
That's hereditary.
So when we did the genetic testing, it was hereditary.
Yeah.
And
what was the name of that actress that just like there was like breast cancer in her family, and she had
Angelina Jolie.
Is that Angelina Jolie? Yeah. She took the precautions because she's got that DNA.
Yeah. And see, and the only reason why I found out was my grandmother passed away a year before me. And she was, by the time they found her cancer, she had it everywhere. So it's kind of like, well, where do you start?
Man, that's terrible.
And so
I hate cancer.
I found out because I had to have a hysterectomy done, right? And so I never had, I didn't have like cervical cancer thing. I had endometrial cancer, which was a tumor that they found in my uterus itself. Okay. And so no test would have detected it unless I had a hysterectomy. And so I had to go through 2 surgeries because there was medical negligence, and it was
that's tough.
I almost died, legit.
That is
I'm
tough.
I'm a miracle. God gave me this intuition to go back and get checked, and we found that they hadn't done a total hysterectomy the way they said they had, because she assumed that I didn't have cancer. You know what I mean? But once they took my uterus for to study it, they found it. And so she thought, pues I took it out, there's nothing to worry about. But when you leave your cervix there, it's one and the same, so the cells are within the same. So I had to get another procedure done to remove that. And it was, I had to recover almost.
Did you have to go through chemotherapy?
I didn't have to.
You didn't have to?
No, I didn't.
Not even in pill form or anything like that, or intravenously?
No, after they did that procedure and we had that other procedure done, we did another genetic testing, and it was it never existed. Cancer never existed in my body. So when God healed me, and it's kind of like the story of the woman with the issue of blood. I don't know if you've ever heard that story.
No, I've never heard.
Okay, well, there is a woman that had an issue of I guess a heavy menses, right? A heavy cycle, and so she was dealing with that, and so she touched Jesus' garment, and he healed her. And he said worry no more. So I had gone to a church when I was sad because I thought oh my God, I'm gonna die. That thing was there for for almost 6 weeks. It probably spread. Like it's just the devil like messing with you. And so my doctor said,
negative.
Yes, and so
you
the
got to think
doctor's
positive when you're
let's
like
do
that.
the genetic testing
it's tough,
again.
but you got to.
And see if you can get it anywhere else. And when we did it, it was like I had to have had something show up there because I had malignant cancer. But when we got the results, there was nothing. He's like, this is a miracle. Like, there's nothing here. Like, you have nothing to worry about because it'll tell you your percentage of developing breast cancer, your percentage of developing uterine, and there was zero trace of nothing.
That's
so when
great.
he healed me forever.
Awesome.
And so he took that worry off of my shoulders.
Yeah.
So, all these girls, everybody has amazing stories. I'm so blessed because now it's like I had like nobody and now I have 24 sisters,
Yeah.
We're there for
and
each
you were
other.
proactive. I mean, you're the one that's got, started it and
Yes.
it turned out. Now, going back to, so then there's just one song right now on
Right
YouTube.
now, yeah. It's the first single of my Christian album.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can find it, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, it's on all digital
YouTube,
platforms.
Spotify, iTunes. It's called Tejanas, Unidas, and Cristo. I think we got the cover of it. And aquí estás. And I see Waymaker. Is that an artist? Or?
No, Waymaker is the name of the song in English. What we did is it's a Spanish version.
That's what it
of
is.
the song. So if you listen to it at the very end, we did the verse Waymaker, miracle worker, because we wanted people to based on on the analytics on the views that we have, because we got about almost 115,000 views, which is for Tejano is good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of these can you imagine, like, some of these girls have never had a song on radio, right? And so it's their first song on radio, the excitement of that, the excitement of having all these views, and then to top it off, for us to be up for consideration for an American Grammy.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I would imagine this song could be very well, because I get into Christian music, like Casting Crowns, and that music is absolutely mind blowing.
Yeah,
and,
Philippines is
and the production and the musicianship and the the whole product. And I mean, this music that you recorded, it's up there with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a program director tell me the other day, and I always talk about this because it's a huge testimony. This producer, Orlando Aispuro, I found him last year on YouTube just by coincidence. I saw this girl that popped up de repente, and I was like, man, her song is awesome. Like, I want to record something like this, right? And so I look up, who was the producer of it, and I'm like, let me look him up on Facebook, right? So I look him up, and I'm like, my name is Geneva. I'm like, this guy's not going to answer me,
I know, right?
I'm like, my name is Geneva. I'm a singer from South Texas. I want to record this song, Como Te Atreves. Originally, it was just it was an acoustic song that I had done with Winnie. Remember Luis, Winnie from the show, the guitar player?
From which?
Winnie, from the Marcos Valdez show.
Oh, yeah.
Bueno, Winnie, he's produced other songs for me, like Entre la Espada y la Pared. He's an amazing producer. And so we were originally going to do just an acoustic version, like simple, cajon, acoustic guitar, something real simple. But when we heard it, we felt like something was like missing. Like we still needed to add more to it or something, right? And so then I messaged this guy, and I'm like, look, I have this song. This is the, pretty much like the guide for it already. Is there anything else you can add to it? Because like in that girl's song, she had like a lot of, it sounded like a symphony in there. I don't know.
Waymaker.
I was like, I want it to sound like majestic, like magical. And with this song, we're talking about Como Te Atreves, which is the first one he produced for me.
Okay.
And so when he sends it back to us, we were just like, whoa. Like, me and my husband are sitting in the car, like, it's like a totally different song. Like, and we were just like, and so we went back and forth a couple times, and then it became this, and everybody was like, okay, well, it's amazing, but why are you recording a ballad? I'm like, because I wanted to take it back to like the La Mafia days, you know, like when we would go, ride around in our car with the windows rolled down, listening to Estás Tocando Fuego, Boulevard de Sueños, Vida. Like, I remember there was a time they would get up puro ballads.
Me estoy enamorando.
Yes, monster ballads. And I was like, there's none of that right now on the radio. Like, me voy a atrever. What do I have to lose? Nothing, you know? So I had support, and then I had the other ones that were like, nah, pues this isn't Tejano. Like, yeah, but I'm a Tejano singer. I'm just trying to do something a little different. You know, maybe we can get into the international market where I can talk about Tejano and bring, you know, more notoriety.
This can go
to
for.
Tejano.
I mean, this can go on Tejano, right?
Right, yeah.
Are you getting airplay with this song?
Yes.
On what stations?
I know Super Tejano plays it.
Okay.
I know KLMO plays it.
That's in San Antonio.
In San Antonio.
K Alamo.
Yeah. Who else plays it? I know. I mean,
So you're getting some
Victoria.
airplay
Oh
then,
yeah, I'm
that's
getting
good.
a lot of airplay. You know. Yeah.
And the Tejanas Unidas en Cristo.
Yes.
I don't get stuck on that.
Tejanos, Unidas, and Cristo.
Yeah.
That's in the voice of Mingo Mariano.
Yeah. Is that obviously that's getting
Yes,
airplay in
it sure is.
in
you know, it's the number one requested song on Super Tejano right now.
okay.
You know, people are calling in.
So
like,
they're
who's
playing it on the
this?
Tejano station.
Yeah, and that's the amazing thing about it is that, you know, we're touching the lives of people that are depressed, oppressed, because, you know, it's playing also in some Christian stations. You know, right now we're working on getting more, you know, because this is a whole other, like category of the entertainment company that I'm with, right? Because Myra D, she does all my music distribution, and now she's, you know, we're starting the Christian part, which, you know, she's working with Johnny from Palominos because he went Christian.
And he's with Freddie Records.
Yeah, he's with Freddie Records.
So Freddie doesn't mind doing this Christian stuff.
No. And so, you know, we're just looking for stations that are not afraid to, you know, one feature a project like this that shows unity amongst Tejanas, but is also giving hope and inspiration to the world, right? Because, you know, in Christian stations, those people have already taken their first step to salvation, already have a relationship with God.
It's bringing new people in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so a song like this, you know, it touches people's lives that are perhaps broken, or, you know, they could be driving and it could touch them.
You know what?
you know?
You can at any given moment, somebody can be driving and having one of those days, and then they hear that song and they realize, you know what?
Because with their platforms,
It's okay.
they will be able to reach a crowd of people that the church can't reach. The church can't reach them, or they don't come to church, or they don't believe in God, or whatever the case may be.
I mean, I strongly believe in that, Lori. I mean, you need to expose it to the secular audience in order for them to maybe decide to, you know, change their life a bit, because everybody's going through some sort
Especially
of battle
during
in their
these
life.
times.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's crazy right now.
We have people that have messaged us that are like, oh my God, you know, this had me in tears. I really needed this today. You know, thank you, girls. And each one of the girls, you know, they've become kind of like a counselor, you know, a counselor for Jesus, because people, you know, reach out to them, you know, and thank them for not being afraid of what people would say, you know, because
Inspiration.
It is.
That's what it is.
You know, we've been recognized by the governor of Texas and the House of Representatives for this, because it's an act of you know, for humanity, you know, and they're, you know, we're working on, you know, the congressman, and I mean, they're working on getting us something from, you know, like a higher, you know, like a presidential recognition, you know. I mean, anything to be recognized, you know, because these girls worked really hard on this.
It looks great.
You know?
I commend you. It was an
Thank
amazing
you.
job, Geneva.
Yes, thank you.
Putting all these beautiful women together and putting that song together. It's and then Freddie Records, the studio just sounds amazing.
It was perfect. Like,
Gave it who produced it? Was there somebody, an engineer there?
yes, we had Ramiro, and we had Eli. They were the engineers that recorded all the vocals. And then it was mixed and mastered in Mexico.
Awesome.
We sent it back to the producer, and that producer, Orlando Espudo, you know, he works with artists like Karin Leon, with Carolina Ross.
It sounds
you know,
big. It
Roma.
sounds
Oh, yeah.
professional. It sounds amazing. And the singing is great. The lyrics are awesome.
Oh, like I was
and
telling
the
you,
video
I'm
was
sorry to
great.
interrupt you, but one of the testimonies that I share with our friends is, you know, when I presented this song at one of the radio stations, you know, the program director called and congratulated us on
Which
the
song?
project.
This one?
On the Tejanos Unidas en
Okay.
Cristo, right? And you know, pretty much he was like, man, this song is universal, like it could be played anywhere. And I was like, okay, well then if that's
Yeah.
the case, you know, what are the odds of us
South
getting,
America. I mean, it could go international.
Philippines
Simple.
the majority of our views are coming from Mexico and the Philippines and Vietnam
In
Okay,
Africa.
so- and Africa.
Yeah.
You know,
No, I would
really,
imagine people
like
would.
8% of our views are coming from U.S.
It's all about finding
We've
it
got a
and
lot
just-
of promotion to do. I mean, we have a whole year.
Yeah.
You know, we were fortunate enough that God gave us the opportunity. The day of final submission for the Grammys, Rock, I was
Yeah.
on the phone with somebody from the Grammys for something totally different for our membership. And she was like, hey, did you guys submit the song for the Grammys? And I'm like, no, girl, the song doesn't come out till the 20th of September. And she's like, there was an extension. Submit it. And I'm like, no, like, I don't even have a cover. And she's like, well, you have till 8 p.m. today to submit it.
Do it.
Wow.
And so we took that leap of faith. We called, and I was like, hey, I don't have my American Grammy membership. It didn't renew, just my Latin Grammy. And she's like, one of the girls on there is a member. Have her submit it. Call her. So in Friegas, we did the credits. I called Jimencio. You know, shout out to Jimencio that did the beautiful artwork for the album. And he sent it to me. And at 7:57 p.m., we pressed send. And the number 7 Rock.
We're pushing
you know,
it.
Yeah, the number 7 Rock, that's my anniversary. I just finished celebrating 27 years with my husband, right?
Congratulations.
On the 7th, thank you. And on the ballot, there was over 200 in our category, which was the contemporary Christian music performance song. But we were number 7 on the ballot.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean?
What
We
a
were-
coincidence.
We were number 7 on the ballot, so we were one of the first ones that they'd see. And then I was telling her that this Sunday I went to a service. This pastor came to visit our church, and it was the 7th. And the message of the night was, ... which is like a continuation symbol that's used in, you know, when you write stuff in sentences. And he says, you know, I know there's somebody out here that, you know, God is, you know, has been working with you, and you're fixing to release something great, you know, something for his kingdom, and just know that things are about to change, and you need to go out and spread his love. And ... And, you know, and he's like, and I know that you battled suicidal thoughts, you know, like everything that I had experienced before this. He was pretty much like validating it to me, like everything that you've thought that it's God doing all this, it is, you know, just stay firm, keep, you know, looking forward and bringing people to him, you know. And so I'm ready to give him my all and to just, you know, just kind of spread his love and just help.
It's inspiring.
You know, help other artists that are, you know, feeling depressed. And, you know, I just want to sing. That's it. That's my passion. You know, I me quedan unos cuantos años buenos, and I'm just ready to perform. And I just ask people to just open their hearts to us, you know, not only to Tejanas Unidas en Cristo, but Geneva as an artist, because, you know, aside of this project was I'm an independent artist too. And, you know, I have dreams, and I want to just bring them happiness through music, you know. And
any performances with all the girls, or any special performances on any special given night or day or something like that? It'll be awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's something, you know, I haven't
some ministry or something.
Yeah, well, I mean, my goal is, you know, to hopefully, you know, I know Shelly has a lot of shows coming up because she's going to retire, but we have a couple of shows that we're putting together, that I'm putting together, and I'm going to be inviting some of the girls, and then hopefully, you know, we could find something to where we can all come together and do one big show, you know, for, you know, the Valley, and then maybe San Antonio, and then Dallas.
What's the name of that pastor in Houston? He's got that
Joel Osteen.
yeah, he's got that big old arena. Imagine performing
there's
there.
something that I'm praying on, that, you know, it's in the works for next year, something huge. Pero yo trato de no decir nada, because then I don't want anybody to feel let down if it doesn't happen.
Hey, you don't want to jinx it either sometimes, right?
Just pray on it, though.
Yeah, pray on it. But you know,
this is
we can't
something-
count our chickens before they hatch,
Yes.
because, you know.
Yes, and so, I mean, I'm very grateful for all the stations that have supported this song. Like, we just came from Houston. We were in Victoria at Magic, and then we went to Houston to BNet, and then we were with SCP Radio, and then we were at KLMO like, what was it, 2-3 weeks ago? I had a slumber party. I rented this big old mansion in San Antonio. Like, God is so amazing, because I was gonna rent just like this awesome suite at the Hyatt, right? I was like, I'll invite the girls over, we'll have a slumber party. And then Aisha, she calls me, she's like, hey girl, did you already find a place? And I'm like, yeah, well, I was gonna book at the Hyatt in downtown. And she's like, well, it's because I have a friend that all of a sudden this house opened up. It's this huge mansion, and she'll let you have it at a real good price. And she told me the price, it was half of what I was gonna pay at the Grand Hyatt. And then she sends me pictures, huge glass house with swimming pool with like 16 beds with.
Y nosotros acá en una mobile home, babe.
I know.
And so God gave us favor. And so when we did the KLMO interview, was the girls, some of the girls came back to the house, and we karaoke'd, and we got in the pool, and we got footage for the documentary.
Awesome. I was going to ask you about that.
So we had a movie premiere about 2 months ago, or a month and a half ago, in Corpus Christi. I invited all the girls to come. I rented 2 movie theaters, and we saw the documentary. And but it was just too much footage missing. We had to cut it short because we literally like an hour and a half of footage we had cut out because it was going to be too long. I was like, nobody wants to sit for a 3-hour movie, Se van a cansar y se van a ir.
Not with today's attention spans, right?
I know.
And so that's when we decided, I have a couple of friends that live in LA that are actors, and they're in movies and stuff. And when I told them, about the concept and everything, they're like, as soon as you have it ready, I can set you up with meetings with Netflix, with PureFlix, with whoever you want. So that's where we're going to be going, hopefully.
I'll get it on my
month.
Fire Stick, babe.
Because it's educational. Like they're going to learn about music, about what it takes to record a song.
I can't wait to see it. It should be pretty awesome.
We had everybody crying at the movies. They were like,
even the people. I don't want to watch it.
Even the people that, like the girls at work there, like the people that were serving the food, because there where we had it at, like they would bring you your foods to your chair and everything, right? So I bought meals for the girls and stuff, and so they were like, "Oh my God, ma'am! Like this is so beautiful," And a lot of the girls, were like, "Oh my God, I didn't know Patsy Torres was a doctor. Oh my God, I didn't know." Like, they were just learning so much about each other that they didn't know about each other. Some of the girls that have been, they've gone through, they've been raped. Some of them have gone through like abusive relationships. Like they open up.
And the music industry can leave a woman scarred. I mean, the music industry has been tough on women, and men alike too. But I mean, women used to have a. What's interesting? I was just realizing that we've had so many female artists on the show lately, right? And it's just it's awesome to see that women. And we had, Magali. We had
she's at Tejanas, Unidas and Cristo.
Cynthia Bustamante was with us. She's from Weslaco as well.
I haven't met her yet, but and there's a lot of girls that have reached out to me, during this whole project. Like, how can I join? How can I become part of it? And I'm like, look, send me all your info. Once we're done with this promotion, like we have other stuff that's coming up. So like
I could imagine that. There's some more stuff.
There's a lot of talented girls, but it's like I say, these people are trying to say that Tejano's dying or dead. Dude, I just united 25 of us that just want to work, that just want a shot. So that's what it is about, making a statement that there's talent out there. Just support them. Just play their music. I just don't understand. And my manager and I, we we're blessed that we have. A lot of radio stations that are supporting us, but there's some, that feel like they have to choose what gets played. You know what I mean? And it shouldn't be that way. They should give every song a chance and let the people decide, Like, I understand it's a slow song. It doesn't have accordion, it doesn't have keyboard. I get it. It's not your traditional Tejano
But nowadays
song. It doesn't have to be. Like, can you imagine if
you don't really radio, I mean, it's good to have, but you can still get a lot out of just the streaming.
Yes. But it's kind of like Selena. She took that leap of faith, and then she did Dreaming of You. They were playing Dreaming of You on all the Tejano stations. And it was
a
English,
crossover,
and it was a crossover. Yeah. So yes, like.
So the one that you're having trouble with is "Como Te Atreves" or what, or because the Christian song is being played on the radio.
Yeah. I mean, all of them are being played. Like, but what I'm talking about is like some of the, like the other stations, like the bigger stations, was they say you have to have a major label or
and they have one program director that's like in California or somewhere else.
Or they won't play it more because they're like, oh, it's not really Tejano, but we're 25 Tejano singers on it, so it shouldn't matter. You know what I mean?
And it's investment too. I mean, I mean, there's money involved. You know, all that stuff.
But thank God I've never had to.
But this song can just grow on its own merit. I mean, the music and the production of the Christian song Tejanas, Unidas en Cristo.
And that should be played everywhere, even on English.
I mean, you got
stations.
115,000 views already.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's
In
getting
like
streamed.
in a month. Like
and I
everything.
stopped at the car wash north of Doolittle Road and out in the country, and they were playing this music, the song.
Really?
And I was doing a Facebook thing, and then some lady messaged me telling me las Tejanas Unidas de Cristo. There we go with the hermanas again.
Hermanas.
Yeah. So I was like, wow. So that was it. So that was
So
kind
then
of
you were somewhere else and you heard it through somebody else. Wow, that's amazing.
And so that's when I reached out. I said, "Hey, Geneva, why don't you come on the show? Let's talk about this."
Wow, no,
but there's
thank
just
you.
so much stuff going on the
Because
internet.
it was a divine appointment, Rock. Like,
yeah.
God wanted
I
to
strongly
give us that
believe
help with your platform.
that there's a purpose for everything that happens
yes.
in our lives.
Absolutely.
And I've been through the ringer and back, and
I've witnessed it because
yeah.
I know you since back in that day. You know,
when I was rowdy,
when
man,
you were
big
rowdy,
time.
but I was blessed to see what it is that we see now.
The
You know what I mean?
transformation.
Yes. Because when
Yeah.
you were wrong, you'd admit it. Because, I mean, during that time when we were doing the show, remember, like when you were having
Yeah.
trouble at work, you would get there late and stuff like that.
But admitting
and then look
it,
at how everything.
yeah, and it's like admitting it is one thing. Doing something about it is a whole other thing.
Yes.
I
And then
mean,
this beauty came into your life and fixed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, she's
And
got me
just-
on a short leash.
Yeah,
Yes,
I do.
And she,
No.
I think I even like wasn't like one of your first like couple of days like when you with the boxing shows. 'Cause I
you sang the
yeah,
national
I
anthem.
sang the national anthem.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I've been
you know?
ring announcing for about 25
and so
years.
I remember like
Yes.
I was like,
was
mira
there.
nomás lo que se consiguió el Rock.
Yeah.
I was like,
No, I'm very blessed
wow.
as well, and I mean,
Yes.
she's the rock, my rock actually,
Yes.
and we get along great.
It's
I mean,
God's
We do.
timing.
she lets me be me, I let her be her, and
That's
it's
right.
not easy. Sometimes I annoy
and
her.
you keep
I-
but you keep that that spark alive. I see you send her flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
You have
Pues
to.
yeah, I gotta work hard over here. You know what I mean? Le mando roses.
He better.
cada
He has
rato.
me working
Hey, you
overtime.
need to do one Gucci or Louis Vuitton a year.
Hombre, cállate la boca y shut up. No, but it's amazing how God works in our lives,
Yes.
and it's just amazing how He worked in yours as well,
Yes,
because
and
what
I'm
you
glad.
produced
This
and
is
put
my
together
purpose.
was amazing.
Remember when I sat there asking God, what was my purpose? This is what it was.
Yeah.
So if anything, como I tell everybody, if I were to never step foot on a stage again, like I'd be okay with it because I feel accomplished.
Yeah.
I made the impossible possible through Him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this is gonna be my legacy. When the day that I'm gone, this is my legacy that I
Yeah.
united 25 women to, unite in a song of hope and faith for the world. And
And I believe in the Spirit. I mean, it's just incredible.
And I believe that we're going
And-
to get a Grammy.
Talking about being where we're at. I mean, it's like I started doing presentations and motivational speaking. And one time, I'd been going to prisons and I'd been going to restitution centers and talking to people and, hood guys, about, being sober and changing your life. And then I started doing boys conferences, middle school boys conferences.
Awesome.
And my wife went with me once, a few times
Several times.
in La Jolla. And then I did one in Alton. And I went on my bike and I got there at 10 a.m. and I had a gym full of kids, young boys. And, I did my comedy thing, told them my story, my life. And I saw them laughing and teachers crying. And, and then afterwards, they got down and they hugged me. They were so happy and stuff. And I walked out. And when I walked out of the school, I broke down. And then I looked up and I said, that's why you put me through that addiction, man. For me to do that, right? If that's why it happened, I accept it. And so, I realized right there and then, okay, this is what it was for. And then I was at a remote in Harlingen about 2 weeks later, and some man shows up and goes, Rock, vengo de Mission, Rock. Oh, ¿qué pasó, bro? No, man, I just came to tell you you had an amazing impact on my son.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where? He goes, in Alton, you went and did the boys conference in Alton, and he's been emulating you ever since he saw you, dude. And I got this feeling in my stomach like, man,
Yeah.
it's true when you reach one kid they go and they reach more kids, by emulating what they've experienced
like
and seen.
I've done a lot of like career day, the like Monte Alto ISD at Cauchos ISD, they always call me, they're like, we need you to, come and, talk to the kids about music. And so I'll go in there and I show them like, a little bit of vocal exercises, and I'll show them like my music videos, and they're just like, and I've experienced where I'm like at HEB and I'll have like moms come up to me and be like, oh my God, my daughter wants to be a singer because of you, and I had to buy her a karaoke machine, and now she's always singing and singing, and there's artists like Annika. She's one of the girls that's part of the project. She was 12 years old when she heard my song Mi Droga Mi Adicción on ¿Qué pasa? And she said that she started following me since then. And then, one day I found her on Facebook in a singing competition singing one of my songs. And I was like, oh, so I was a judge on a singing competition, and she won. And so we just had that connection, so I knew that she was absolutely, one of the girls that needed to be on this project. I mean, they're all talented. I mean, there's so many of them, and I'm just blessed that they agree to be part of this historical event, that we're gonna leave to our children, our grandchildren,
the music is forever. Yeah, music is forever. And we've got a clip of her video for this song, Como Te Atreves. So check it out. We'll be right back.
¿Cómo te atreves a decirme que me quieres si es mentira? ¿Cómo te atreves a mirarme fijamente y asegurarme que es mentira lo que dice tanta gente? ¿Cómo te atreves a lastimarme el corazón de esta manera? ¿Por qué no piensas un poquito y te arrepientes de lastimarme, de engañarme? Por favor, comprende. No quiero más mentiras, no te quiero compartido. Si yo te entregué mi vida y no quieres más mi amor, vete por favor, vete ya, vete con ella, con quien quieras, mientras yo voy a buscar una manera de olvidar, voy a sacarte de mi historia, borraré de mi memoria este dolor.
That's amazing.
Hombre, God, shut up.
Thank you for coming over, Janelle.
Oh, thank you, Rock.
I appreciate you. And thank you for bringing Lori. I hadn't seen Lori in a long time.
It was good to see you, and it's good to meet you.
Yeah,
I'm
likewise,
so blessed,
likewise.
man.
Thank
I'm
you
so
guys.
blessed.
Parece que soy un guest in The View, baby.
I know, right? Hey, don't give us any ideas.
Y'all would be better than The View, that's for
Ladies,
sure.
yes.
Yeah. La mirada, or whatever. How do you say view in Spanish?
Vista.
La vista. There we go.
That's you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got something really cool going on, and we want you to be a part of something that's just absolutely amazing. Help us make it a Merry Christmas for the kids and families of the Edinburgh Housing Authority by donating $10 to our Cash App, $ RocknRollJames with your name and cell phone. Hashtag PBT is giving away an awesome prize pack for helping us out. We will have 2 winners on Thanksgiving weekend, okay? So the 2 random winners will each receive a PBT Christmas prize pack, which includes these awesome cutting board and bottle opener, all right? So we've got that,
nice.
and created by my good friend JC, and we'll put his email at the bottom if you want to make any. He'll do any team for you, right? All right. So we're also going to give away a where's the cap? A que desmadre cap. All right. So you get the cap, okay, and you also get a hashtag PBT T-shirt and Rockin' Chaz shirt, and the Dallas Cowboys wooden cutting board and bottle opener made by JC's King of the Coop YouTube channel. So check him out, man. He's really cool. And the contest and fundraiser will end on Thanksgiving Day 2021. Every dollar that is raised will be used to buy toys for the kids of the Edinburgh Housing Authority. We've been doing it for how long, babe?
I want to say about 8 years.
Yeah, about 8 years.
So I want to send a shout out to all the staff at EHA. Thank you guys so much for always allowing us to be a part of your wonderful event. This year, it will be a caravan again. So it won't be a drive-through. It'll be a caravan, and we will be going to all of the Edinburgh Housing Authority properties. So we're really excited to go out and see the kids and families.
Yeah, we'll get some footage from our last couple of years that we've done. I mean, just going and seeing the looks on the kids when we give them a toy is absolutely amazing. And we go from each housing complex to the other. Like my wife said,
property.
last year it was a drive-through. They would drive through and we give and they had it very nicely coordinated. But we were used to making a caravan with a police Winnebago and everything. Yeah, the blue Santa. And we'd go from, to every housing complex in Edinburgh, and there'd be a line of kids, and I'd make them scream Merry Christmas. And
Sing
then they come and we give them toys. But hey, this year we usually do a show, a concert. We're not going to do one. We're just going to do it with PVT like we did last year because it was a big success. Everybody helped out. So it's just $10 as a donation, and put what was the code that we're supposed to put on there?
The name and sell.
Oh yeah, name and sell. Okay, because if you win the prizes, we're gonna text you, and that way you can give us your address, and we can send you the big prize pack. Okay, and we might end up adding some more stuff to it as well.
Yeah,
so,
we will.
but man, it's been a beautiful evening
so
tonight
much,
with you,
Rock.
Geneva.
Oy.
And I'm telling you,
That's like number 5 already.
I counted 10.
yeah.
No, thank you
Geneva.
so much.
Yeah,
for,
no, we
for
appreciate
giving me
you.
the opportunity to, to not only talk about Geneva, my music. My new single actually right now on radio is called Casa Triste. Aside of the Tejanas, Unidas, en Cristo, Aquí Estás, I released Casa Triste in honor of my mother. She passed away in February. I was originally supposed to release it next year for Mother's Day.
Okay.
But, after I got the master back and everything, I worked with Marcos from the Arrieros, Grammy-nominated mariachi. And I said, why am I going to release it till next year when people are losing their mother, their father, their grandma, grandpa, their kids right now, So I said, I can't be selfish. So we released it. It's gotten a great response. It's just that it talks about, the sadness you feel when a person is gone. Like I moved out when I was 20 years old. When my husband and I decided we're going to have a baby, we moved out. I hadn't lived with my parents since I was 20. I'm 43, But when my mom broke her foot in Christmas, her house wasn't handicap accessible. So she came to live with me. So she lived with me the rest of December, January, up until February when she ended up in the hospital. So God gave me that opportunity to have her with me every day, make her biscuits and her cornbread. And, we got to bond again, and it allowed my dad to learn to live those 3 months by himself, because my dad cared for my mom. My dad retired from the county. Un saludo para papi. Te quiero mucho, daddy. Para papi Salas, Jose Luis Salas. He retired to take care of my mom, And so can you imagine, like, if she would have passed away de repente, and it would have been like more of a bigger impact for her, So those 3 months, he got to learn how it was to just cook for himself, wake up to just himself in the house, So I'm sure it's still hard, but God made it to where it was like an easy transition. It gave me, like people are like, well, how come you're not dying of crying for your mom? I'm like, I cry, but I don't have anything to feel guilty about. Yo le cumplí como hija, and I know that she's rejoicing in the presence of the Lord. And I think that if it wasn't for losing my brother first and, building this relationship with God, it would have been harder for me, Absolutely. But I have nothing to fear because I just envision her reunion with my brother in heaven. You know what I mean? And so now me toca a me to be, to lead people to the Lord so that I can earn my place in heaven so that when I'm gone, I can be reunited with them.
Well, Tejanas Unidas in Cristo probably got you a VIP pass to get in there.
Yes. So shout out to all the girls. I love each and every one of you. I'm so proud of each and every one of you and honored to have you on this project. To all the radio, all the DJs that are thinking outside the box and playing this song, I applaud you, and God is pleased. And so to all your viewers, I leave a piece of my heart here with you. My name is Geneva. That's Genyva, And you can check out my music on all digital platforms and Tejanas Unidas en Cristo if you'd follow our page as well. And for any booking, Rock, they can reach me with Ms. Myra D at 956-367-7818, or they can reach us at discosdondedios@gmail.com.
All right.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for joining us on a Tuesday night. Ladies and gentlemen, all our hashtag PVTers, brought to you by the law office of Carlos A. Garcia. If you're injured in a serious accident, arrested on serious charges, you need an attorney that'll fight for you in court because serious cases require a serious lawyer. Call him at 956-584-1448, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Visit his website, thegarciafirm.com, and he is board certified in criminal law by the Texas Board of Legal Specialization. 24 horas al día, 24 hours a day, 7 días a la semana, 7 days a week, 365 días al año. That's 365 days a year. He won't take care of you. The law office of Carlos A. Garcia, and we would like to say good night. Asústame one time. Everybody wave at the camera.
Aquí está.